Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios. I'm your StockMiner, Brian Johnson. I'm going to move down today in the markets. Good opportunities today for some trading. Looks like we have this double top. Looks like it might be in place here. I'd really like to see just a little bit more confirmation by the bears here, but this is looking extremely strong, putting me in a very neutral to bearish position over the next short term, I'd say for at least the next few days. Probably we'll see what we get tomorrow, but if we do not get some sort of more heavy selling coming in tomorrow, I would think we're going to get it by early next week. So I am bearish over, like I said, the shorter term here and ultimately the longer term. Got breaks of the areas we were looking for today. The more aggressive short I said was below 10,350. For those of you that took that great trade, made some pretty good cash on that today, about 100 points or so. And that's what we've been running into on the Dow, 50 to 100 point moves, giving us opportunities to at least make something out of the market. I think, though, if we start with this, I'm telling you, there was pretty heavy selling coming in over the last couple days, starting really kind of with the close. After yesterday's close, we had some pretty heavy selling. That continued today. After seeing it, this continues for another day or two. We're going to have a great opportunity to make some money to the bear side. So for those of you that are more conservative, still waiting for this break of 10,200, but that is still a great go short level in my mind. So watching everything on a daily chart, you can see that all of these upper areas held. Now we have the breakdown and a close below the 50. This is the one caveat here. Always give the bulls a day or so to kind of pull themselves back up. See if they can't get back above these areas in the markets. This sitting at now the 10,300 area. Okay, so above the 10,300 area is where the bulls want to try to get tomorrow. Or at least keep it close coming into the weekend at this 10,300. If not, man, I really think a break below 10,200 takes you to 10,100. Be watching that very closely. NASDAQ on a 60 also bouncing off these lower levels down here. Lots of stuff finding support with a small bounce towards midday. Then we headed back upwards, but the bounce was very slight, very little to talk about in the means of buying pressure. And you can see the big red candle here after today's trading session, looking for breaks below 1800 on the NASDAQ to get short. NDX on a weekly now back below the blue line coming into the last day of trading. Let's see if that can hold. The bulls will definitely want to try to make one push to get back above that 50-week moving average. But if they can't, we could be in for a more bearish tone over the next few weeks. SPX on a 60-minute, you can see where we came right back up to hit this overhead level. At the end of the day, we tore through it, came back up, got real close to this 1080-ish level. Doesn't tell me what the bounce was here. Right near that 1080 level before dropping back down to end up kind of more bearish into the close at the very, very end of the day. Now, breaks below this 1070, still areas to be watching. That could take us lower, still liking on a daily. This area down in here, really loving this line. Let's see if that even holds. And breaks below that, guys, it could be 1020 on a break of this 1050. So I'm watching all of these levels very closely over the next day or two. We'll see. We have the break and the close below the 50-day. That is a long ways up. Bulls are really going to have to make a move tomorrow if they're going to want to try to get back above the 50-day moving average here in the SPX. Don't know if that's going to be possible, especially with the heavy selling we saw today. So I'm going to have to be maybe some sort of grand news of some sort tomorrow. I don't know what would be the caveat to pick them up, but certainly nothing major in here lending itself towards heavy bullishness at this point. From a weekly, also wanting to head back down to the bottom, retested the 50-week this during the week right around the 1100 area, and it held nicely. Now looking for maybe a little bit of a push to the downside, which puts us back in those other support areas I've talked about in the other charts. Here is the VIX. Look how well this little wedge does seem to be playing out. We got a big move up today on the VIX, confirming the move down today in the markets. For those of you that are or have owned some puts, you were very happy today. You got a good double whammy from the markets. with the VIX moving up. VIX on a weekly still doesn't look like it's really anywhere for the most part on a weekly. Looks more clean on a daily to me, with the weekly still holding within this, what I would call the yellow zone for fear. There is fear coming back into the markets here from an indices standpoint. Looking at Apple, it was down today with the markets down 319. Overall, though, here we are again, sideways. Support areas are holding, resistance areas are also holding. There's no big desire for Apple to go up, and there's no real big desire for Apple to go down. So here we are, wandering sideways. Notice how the 20-week is holding. This is something the bulls were definitely going to want to hold coming into the end of the week. I don't know. It's got a little bit of work ahead of it. That is all the way up at 254, 255 area. We're going to have to make a big bullish push tomorrow in Apple to get ourselves back above that. FAS on a 60-minute saw some very nice opportunities for shorting today. Go right to a daily. You can see once we broke this line here, good opportunities to the short side right around that 1950, 1940 area. And in FAZ, we had great opportunities to the long side. I think I mentioned something about long above 1550. Yeah, I think I did. Back into the what area? Something about the $16 area. Beautiful trade. So long above 1550 or above 1525 for the more aggressive, but a more conservative trade was above 1550, took you right back to 16. I missed it by 5 pennies today. So now we'll see if we get a further push up and above this area tomorrow, watching the 1630 mark. 1630, guys. That is your target area to be watching tomorrow, up and over $16 in the FAZ. So, opportunities to still catch a few trades here, but must be cautious, especially with the 200 flowing down here. We get a break above that, and who knows where this thing could go. Should be a very strong area of support, resistance, at least on the first attempt. We'll see what we get tomorrow in the markets. And that'll do it for today's trading. Good trading to the downside today, guys. Watch for continued bearishness into tomorrow. A little pullback. It's not very strong. We'll see if anything happens overnight. But I'd be watching very closely for breaks of the 10-200 and ultimately the 10-70-ish areas on the markets we've been watching. We'll see you again. That's right, tomorrow. Bye.